Alright, just to give you a little heads up, I already unboxed the first 20 figures in part 1. You can go watch that now if you click on this card, or you can wait until the end and watch it after. It's not really going to make a difference either way. Now let's just get into it. So I actually just finished reading this comic pretty recently, and I was a big fan of the character and the concept. I'm not gonna lie, the story isn't much to write home about. It's kind of basic, but I did really enjoy it. If nothing else, the art in this book is just fucking phenomenal. And I love the costume design for Cosmic Ghost Rider. Honestly, the photography, like, just the packaging art is so beautiful. I love all the different contrasting colors across that, like, cosmic landscape, you know? It's just fucking badass. There we go. This is the money shot. Woo-wee! This is the only one that I didn't fuck up the packaging on so far, I think. Oh god, where do we even start with this beauty?
Oh my god. Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Take out the balls. Good place to start is any. I guess that's the stand for the motorcycle. And that goes on here. Yeah, check that out. You know, I never noticed the blue bands around Cosmic Ghost Rider's wrists, but those actually do a lot to accentuate the colors on him. And I love that helmet too. I wonder if that helmet comes off. Oh, it does! It does come off! Oh shit. Honestly, giving Cosmic Ghost Rider a Mr. Freeze kind of style helmet was a really smart move. It looks really good on him. Honestly, this whole costume looks good. It's just so cosmic and gothic. It just blends all the right elements in all the right ways. I just fucking love it. I really can't wait to see how other writers utilize this character. So I guess the giant ball goes on the front. So I guess one goes on the top, one goes on the bottom, and the balls go around it. Makes sense to me. That makes a really neat effect. The way it has the little things inside the ball makes it look kind of 3D. I like that. This is a pretty neat figure in general.
And I really like that.
I see it getting sold out a lot. And I also see it getting price gouged a lot. Honestly, I think that I had to pay a little bit more than I should have for it, but I mean, that's what I get for sleeping on it. Yeah, this is definitely one of those legends that I recommend to anyone. I can tell that already. Woo-wee! And does the guns go back here? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna look at the instructions on this one. Not the instructions, the back of the box. There we have it. Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is one I'm definitely going to end up keeping the box for. So I've wanted to open this one for a minute, and the main reason for that has been that it's based off of the movie Deadpool, which is actually the version of the character I'm most familiar with. And to be honest with you, I'm just not a fan of some of the other Deadpool Marvel Legends. There we go. Probably should have mentioned this beforehand, but I'm actually a big fan of the packaging design too. If you can see how they kind of customized it to look like Deadpool, put the stickers on it and stuff like that. Gives it kind of like a bootleg Borat type feel, if you're familiar with some of the branding associated with that franchise. But yeah, I just really dig it. When I first saw the Negasonic Teenage Warhead sculpt, I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but now seeing it up close, I actually like it a little bit more than I did before. It's got a lot of detail, like her earring and all that stuff. It's kind of stiff at the joints. Yeah, definitely a stiff-jointed action figure. But I can't complain that much, though. Now, honestly, even inside the comics, this is my favorite Deadpool costume. really excited to finally get this thing out of here, even though it just does not want to come.
Hey, phrase it!
It comes with his sword, 2 guns, and the unicorn that I cannot remember the significance of. Was it just that he like hallucinated the unicorn or something during an animated bit in the first movie? I can't remember. I remember the jokes where Captain Boomerang had a unicorn in Suicide Squad better than I do the ones where Deadpool had one in his movies. Alright, I'm going to put these somewhere else later on. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next figure. Ooh, Moon Knight. Okay, so this is the one that I've probably had longest. I've had this one since at least 2018, and I never unboxed it. The, whatchamacallit, his bow staff has even gotten out of place while it's been in box. It's kind of funny. This has like traveled with me 2 houses, and I've never opened it. So this thing has been in the box 2 years now. Last time I checked, I think this one actually goes for like $40 or $50 too, but I'm not sure. I remember seeing that it was definitely priced more than $20 though. When I got my hands on it, I got it for a pretty good deal, because I think I bought it at price. I can't remember though, it's been so long. Now I believe this is the costume from the Warren Ellis run. I'm not gonna lie, I've never actually read much Moon Knight, so I don't know much about the character. I'm a little bit embarrassed by that. But from my understanding, that seems to be how it is for a lot of people. We got the accessory for the Zelda figure, I think. I'll take some back with this, I guess. There we go. Ooh, this one has really good articulation. That's something I haven't been commenting on yet. Crap. I'm supposed to talk about that with all the figures, I think. Yeah, so this dude has like pretty good joints. Things seem to be staying where they're supposed to. He's moving good. I like this figure. I'm a big fan of this figure. Oh, this is a fan favorite. Captain Marvel. I really like this figure because it comes with Goose, and like I said before, she has the leather jacket on top of her costume, which was the exact reason I got this Captain Marvel figure above all the others. So my collecting philosophy is that you should not try to get them all. That is capitalist bullshit, and they're just trying to exploit you. Try and set a collecting goal that's more obtainable. Instead of trying to get every figure out there, you can just try and get one figure of every character, or every figure of a specific character. So instead of trying to get every single Iron Man and every single Thor, you just get every single Spider-Man instead. I like this figure. This is cute. And it really does look just like Brie Larson. And look, it's got the cat from the movie. I like that. You guys smell that? Something smells kind of funny.
No, I needed this bioweapon, and I am so excited to light this bad boy up.
Kind of like one of those weird Oh. Well, maybe that's why.
This smells like my vagina. Look at this beautiful packaging of such a delicate device.
Honestly, I really liked this costume in the movie. I thought it was really neat. Unlike all the other Iron Man armors, it has kind of like an alien design to it. At least that's kind of the vibe that I get from the suit. I'm not gonna lie, the second I saw this mask in the first scene with Harley, I just got hype as fuck. This head is really fucky. Just look at this, okay? Look, it goes all the way up and then it doesn't come back down. Like, you can't push it down any further than that. Like, her head is up here, but her head should be like down here, if that makes sense. This is a very strangely articulated figure. I mean, it's not hard to pose her. The joints aren't stiff or anything, so that's good. But I just don't... Oh no, maybe that shoulder's a little bit stiff. But yeah, the head is what gets me. The head is like pointed up always. Like, this is the default position. It's not looking up, this is the default. You see what I mean? I don't know. Am I being picky? I don't know if I'm just being picky or not. Alright, let's put her backpack on her and then move on to the next one. Okay, just for comparison's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Mark 7 Iron Man. Alright, so let's take a look at these 3 figures, right? Look at how shiny the paint is on the Mark 7 and on Iron Patriot. And then take a look at Goop Girl. Nowhere near as shiny. And if you look, like, they sculpted every single curve of this armor. Well, not every single curve, but most of the curves. And same thing for War Machine. Like, there's a lot of detail here, a lot of paint, like, a lot of work went into this. But the rescue figure looks like a rush job, honestly. The paint is kind of ugly. It's just, I don't know. This figure doesn't do it for me. It's going in the bottom of the barrel right next to Night Monkey. For comparison's sake, let's see how the Mark 7 Iron Man from the ENDGAME line compares. This is another one of the Fat Thor line, so we'll have another part for Fat Thor after this. Man, I can't get over how much I love Fat Thor in that movie. Such a great character choice. Really odd choice, but like it's one that makes sense too. You know what I mean? There we go. I love the giant ass Infinity Gauntlet that comes with it. The Nano Gauntlet. Oh, did I break it? No, I didn't break it. Yeah, the Nano Gauntlet. Oh, I get it. It's so that you can put it on a character's hand. Oh, that's clever. Huh. Alright. Fat Thor arm. Go with Fat Thor head. Pull him out of there. The first thing I notice about this is that the paint isn't quite as good as the Mark 7, but I can't complain really. I'm just going to go ahead and pull out the Mark 7 again just to compare it. Yeah, the paint isn't nearly as good, but the sculpt is a lot better than Rescue was. Like, you can almost tell. Bad, mediocre, fucking amazing. Like, seriously, this is one of my favorite figures. There's, like, so much detail to it. And it's my favorite Iron Man costume, too, so I'm really glad that they went all in on this version of the figure. But this one just really doesn't do it for me. And this one's better, but not by much. It has that same kind of, like look right here. It feels like there should be more than just 2 colors. It should be more than just gold and silver. More than just gold and silver, you know? Like, there should be a lot more detail to this back. Especially when you compare it to the back of the other figure. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being picky. Then again, the skin-tight Iron Man suit is a little bit harder to design for and to design around than maybe the more bulky suit is. I don't know. I'm just a middle-aged neckbeard talking about toys. Let's be real here. No one's an expert on any of this. So this is one of my favorite Thor characters right here. Beta Ray motherfucking Bill. He was made by Walt Simonson during Walt Simonson's run on Thor. And by the way, that run is probably one of the best runs in terms of like classic era Thor runs. And even like comparatively to the modern era, it's just really fucking good. It introduced Beta Ray Bill. It has a lot of character development with Sif. Sif is another one of my favorite Thor characters. I need to get one of her figures. If they make one. I think they make one. I'm pretty sure I've seen one. I think there's a Dark World Sif out there somewhere. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still kind of pissed that they completely shafted Sif and cut her out of Ragnarok altogether. It's fucking bullshit. But at the same time though, I mean, maybe her not being in Ragnarok means she survived Ragnarok, so I mean, you know, maybe she'll show up again later. Who knows? Go ahead and take these Thor heads out. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that on this body that I got from another one of the figures. If I can get his... There it goes. If you don't want to read the comics, another good place to start with Beta Ray Bill is Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Beta Ray Bill actually has an episode that's kind of centered around him and Thor. Really solid episode. Honestly, if you haven't seen Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I would just recommend watching that show in general. It's a really solid 10 out of 10 show. Honestly, it's just as good as Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, in my opinion. And that's not like a soft compliment for me by any standard. Like, those are like my holy grail of great TV shows. You know what I mean? Only complaint is that the joints are just a little stiff. But not so much to the point that it ruins the figure. This is another one of my favorite costumes. Now, I'm not as much of a fan of the Agent Anti-Venom version of the character as I am the actual Agent Venom, but I'm still a big fan of Flash's run as Venom nonetheless. I've actually got the Walgreens exclusive one from like 2014 or so. I actually think that might have been one of my first Legends, but it's basically the exact same figure as this one, but with inverse colors. See how they make minor alterations to these things, then get fans like me to buy the same thing twice? At least I'm self-aware about it. Come on, get up. There you go. There you go. Right on. Yeah, I think this is the exact same one as the Walgreens Venom that I have. Yeah, this is actually a pretty sleek looking figure. Let's check out the joints. See how that articulation goes. Ah, that articulation's pretty good. Pretty solid. No stiff joints. Moves pretty freely. Now, the only thing I have to say about this figure, and I know I can only really say it because I have experience with the other one, and I think this is just a repaint of it, but it's hard to move this leg here on account of the pouches that are attached to it. So the leg doesn't have much in terms of mobility unless you want to take those pouches off, which I wouldn't really recommend because it would be hard to get them back on. But it seems to be a pretty good little figure. Valkyrie was a great character to come out of Ragnarok. It'll be interesting to see what they do with her in the future. You know, something I noticed, I'm just going to point this out real quick. If you look on the box has a bunch of scratches on it, and I've noticed that even when you go to see these things new in store, a lot of the times they still have scratches on their boxes. And sometimes, even when you order them directly, they still have scratches on the boxes. It's really weird. Then again, it seems like they're doing something new with the box art for some of the newer figures, so maybe that has something to do with it. So maybe that complaint won't be very valid for much longer. But I'm not gonna lie though, the newer box art, like the X-Men one and the new 90s Spider-Man one, it seems kind of cheap comparative to this kind of box art. You know what I mean? I don't know though. It's like less material, which I guess makes it cheaper, but they're not exactly passing on those savings to the customers by any means, you know? So what difference does it make to me if it comes in a nice box or it comes in a crappy box? I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't buy one of the Wolverine figures specifically because of the box it came in. I didn't know if it was an actual Marvel Legend or if it was a different line that was a similar size to Marvel Legend because of the fact, or if it was a Wolverine figure from another line that just happened to be the same size. Well, Valkyrie. Let's see, hold on. Limb check. Ah, good articulation. Solid sculpt, and honestly, it's got really good paint. It looks spot on for Tessa Thompson. Yeah, this is a solid figure. I like this one. And I really like the costume too. Solid figure. Alright, I guess the next one's gonna be BLACKGAR BOLTAGON of the Inhumans. And yes, that is his real name. That is actually canon. It is BLACKGAR BOLTAGON. You cannot make this shit up. In case you don't know, Black Bolt is king of the Inhumans. There was a show about the Inhumans. I didn't watch it, and I don't think anyone else really did either, but there was a show at a point. Ooh, I like this. Oh my god, it's the Kirby Crackle. They've got like the Kirby Crackle effect built into the action figure. I love that. I love that. That's such a neat little detail. I can already tell I'm gonna like this figure. I love the expression on his face too. Okay, so I don't know if it actually does this on the costume or not, but whenever you move his arms, like if I move them like this, it makes the wings kind of like stick out from the back of it. From my understanding, Black Bolt's wings are kind of like Spider-Man's web armpits. They should like always stay under his pits. They shouldn't ever really go like this. Oof, that's gonna have to take some points off for original media accuracy. But at the same time though, it's a nice enough figure to the point that I can't imagine ever not having it posed on a shelf like screaming like this. So I mean, I can forgive it. It's a forgivable sin. The purple variant, or at least the one from the final battle when he had the highlighted colors purple, I really love this vibranium form Black Panther. It kind of reminds me of Batman Beyond in a way. That sort of straight black suit with a charged up neon aesthetic, you know? Like, I feel like if they made a Batman Beyond live action movie, the suit would probably end up looking something like this. I can't imagine them doing a straight up adaptation of the show's suit. Okay, you know what? You guys are about to see something awful. Fuck it. I'm tired of struggling with these boxes. This is like the 16th one I've had to open. Poor me, I have to open toys. And it comes with a T'Challa head. Oh, check that out, check that out. Ah, he's coming out at you. This is a solid pose for Black Panther, honestly. I love that. Oh my god, it's even prettier once you get it out of the case. Holy crap. Look at that. Look at how that just shines. It sparkles. There's so much detail in this. Yeah, I really dig that. I really dig this action figure. Articulation's good. It's pretty. Okay, I had to hit record again on the other one. But yeah, just a solid all-around action figure. I mean, seriously, like, let's look at the detail on this one compared to the detail on... Like, look at how this is just... There's no texture to it. It's just a plain black suit. Really, really, really basic. And then compare it to this. Just look at all the textures on it. Like, if you look closely up at that purple, you can, like, literally see... I am just really impressed by this figure. It's so pretty. Yeah, this one's gonna go on the front row for sure. So this is kind of a more basic one again, but it's one that I still think is pretty cool. So I mentioned my collecting philosophy earlier, that you shouldn't try and get all of them. You should only try and get like ones of your favorite character. And for me, that's Spider-Man. Honestly, I think a lot of that is inspired by like the collectathons and all the different costumes you could unlock. But now it's like not unlocking costumes, it's just like buying them. But you know what, I'd rather spend $20 on an action figure than $20 on DLC skins, so whatever. I don't think that made sense. There we go. What? Oh! That's not supposed to happen. Man, I just looked down on my floor and already I have so much trash. Dear God. Woo! Come on, Night Monkey. Come on, Night Monkey. There we go. There we go. I'm pretty sure there's a better way that you're supposed to do that, but I don't know. Let me tear up my own toys. They're my toys and I'll break them if I want to, damn it. And so one of the most frustrating things about collecting Legends, right, is that you get all of these extra little arms and heads, and it's like, you can only use them one at a time on the action figures, so it's like, what do you do with them otherwise? Like me, I have a Captain Morgan mug, and I just keep all of my extra parts inside of that mug, inside my closet. And then I just switch them out whenever I want to, like, change the action figures up some. Let's swap the head out real quick, just for the fun of it. Also, weird note, I feel like I saw in the promotional material this little thing right here. That's a blank spot in the movie. But I thought that in some of the promotional material, I saw that it had a shield symbol on it, on the Night Monkey suit. Am I wrong about that? Can anyone confirm or deny that? Oh my god, this head isn't going on. It's like the head doesn't fit almost. What the hell? There we go. Cool. Yup. Night Monkey. Oh my god. His eyes look really wonky. Look at those eyes. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about the eyes being kind of wonky? See, that's one of the things that I notice a lot with Legends, is the paint quality can be really off. Like, the paint quality on this, honestly, just seems really cheap and rushed. Like, there's only one shade of black over the whole figure. There's no different shades of gray. It's like, there's not much detail to this figure. Honestly, this is kind of a disappointing figure out of the whole bunch. This is probably the worst one yet. But Cosmic Ghost Rider's still cool as hell, so I'm not disappointed yet. This is from the Big Time event, I think. No, not event, but from the Big Time storyline by Dan Slott. A lot of people seem to really like this Spider-Man costume. Personally, I kind of think they were just ripping off Tron because Tron was popular at the time, but I mean, to each their own. Like, normally I love that whole neon aesthetic, but I mean, for some reason this suit just doesn't do it for me. I'm just not the biggest fan of this suit. It's like a glowing green version of the symbiote suit. Oh my god, it's cut on the GameStop tag. There we go. You know, I think this is the first one that I've seen that's come with a spider web. There we go. Honestly, pulling this out of the packaging, I think I might like the design a little bit better. Honestly, it's a design that translates kind of well to 3D. Articulation's alright. Yeah. This is a pretty solid little figure. Definitely a lot better than the last one. Fuck you, Night Monkey. Okay. Spider-Woman. This is from the same Far From Home line as Night Monkey. And I'm just gonna break it open because I do not care. So I just found out that I lost all the footage on the best camera, meaning this one, for the last bit that I filmed, so sorry about the subpar footage before this. Hopefully this footage doesn't mess up too, but at least I have the other backup cameras. This is actually my favorite take on the MCU Vision. I mean, really, it's his only suit. Well, fuck it, I guess. I needed to Hulk smash something after losing that footage. But yeah, Tom King's Vision made me a huge fan of this character. Ooh, check it out. It's Stormbreaker. But yes, Tom King's Vision made me a huge fan of the character. If you guys haven't read it, that book is like transformative. I swear, I might end up making a video on it at some point. I can't imagine how I would not. It's so good. But anyway, made me a huge fan of the character, so I'm really happy to get it. It really made me a huge fan of the character, so I'm happy to get him in figure form. If I can get him out of here. There we go. Ah. Not gonna lie, his face looks kind of cheap and deformed, but it is what it is. He'll look fine sitting on the shelf. The semi-transparentness of the figure kind of is a detriment to the face, but it makes the rest of the figure look really cool, honestly. Kind of makes it stand out. With the LED lights on my shelf, this is gonna look pretty neat, I'm sure. Alright, the next one is probably the one I'm least excited about. I really got it just to get the rest of the Fat Thor wave, but it's Captain America from the first Avengers movie. Honestly, this is my least favorite Cap uniform too. If I can't find anyone that wants it, I'll probably just give the shield to another figure. But yeah, like I said, really only got this one to build Fat Thor. So now we've got his arms, his body. I think there's only one more Fat Thor figure left to build, or left to get apart from. So let's look at the figure. It's got pretty decent stiff shoulders. Oh no. Oh no. Right off the bat, trying to move it. That is an irreparable break right there. There's no fixing this, ladies and gentlemen. And other folk. Ugh, I'm gonna have to like super glue it back on. Belt's like out of place. This whole figure's a mess. God. I'll just leave him T-posing over here for a minute. Give Spider-Man a chance to breathe. What a disappointment. Okay, not gonna lie. We're getting to the back end of these. So I'm just kind of rushing a bit. Here's Wasp. Just through the packaging, I've already been looking at it. I can tell that the face sculpt looks a lot like Evangeline Lilly. So, I mean, you know, it's acceptable for what it is. Yeah, check that out there. Now, one of the things I will say that I'm noticing right off the bat that I like is that, like the Giant Man, it has that transparent see-through thing, unlike Ant-Man, who kind of lacks that. And I like the head for Evangeline Lilly as well. Very accurate to how she looks in real life. They definitely did a good job with those sculpts. Let's look at these wings. Got the whole semi-transparent thing to them. Yeah, they're acceptable. Oh, do they move? Oh, yeah, they move! Well, hell yeah. Okay. Alright. This figure is definitely a solid 9 out of 10. It's got a lot of different textures. A lot of different work on the golden parts of the armor. Hell yeah, I fucking dig it. Got another Thor here. This is one that's actually been sitting on my shelf longest. I found it on sale at Walmart forever ago. And I never opened it for whatever reason. I think it was just because I didn't have space until I built these shelves. But now I've got space for it and I can finally open it up. Or you could leave them in the box and they'd go up in value. I don't care. They'll still go up in value out of the box, even though they won't go up in value as much. Plus, this way, I get to take the figures and I get to pose them, take pictures of them, all that fun stuff. So if you want to check out some of those pictures that I take of these in front of green screens and posed and stuff like that, making them look all neat and fancy, you can follow me at SuperSwimTeam7 on Instagram. Let's see. I'm gonna have to pull that off of them. Yeah, pull it back through this way. That's a decent sculpt. A little bit stiff. Not going to do the same thing I did with that cap and rip his joint off, Hulk style. But yeah. Very accurate to the figure, even if there's a little bit of a lack of texture. And some of the paint here seems sort of cheap comparatively to the rest of the figure. But I mean, it looks like Chris Hemsworth. It's what I wanted. It's the MCU Thor with a classic helmet. So I mean, I can't complain. It's a decent figure. Just put him right there. And I'll pull those parts out of that later. This is the Velocity Suit Spider-Man. Not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of this costume in the game. I kind of took the position of, you know, it's not a comic book suit, so I'm not interested in seeing it. But that being said, I kind of grew to love the neon effects of it. It's got pretty good articulation. It's not stiff. The paint is like acceptable. It's nothing like shiny or nothing to write home about. The figure is acceptable. If you like this costume, you would like the figure. I'm not that big of a fan of the costume, but I mean, like I said, it's a decent figure. It came with this web and the Demogoblin figure. So let's just web this bad boy up. Put him right there. Pull apart that. And move on to the next one. It definitely looks like Idris Elba. Definitely more so than some of the other figures have. Considering we're on the last run, I'm just gonna say fuck it. There we go. I love the giant-ass sword they gave him. Heimdall has the coolest fucking sword in the MCU. Ready to open the fucking Bifrost. I should add a Bite of 87 clip there. Oh yeah. It's a pretty decent figure. Pretty decent paint. Let's see how that fits in there. There we go. And hell yeah, there we have it. Heimdall, the champion of the Bifrost. The last one is another 2-pack. It's Loki and Corvus Glaive. Now, right off the bat, I really dig Corvus Glaive's armor, but Loki's face looks a little bit... Ugh. I'll show you when I get the package open. There we go. Let's pull that bad boy out. I don't know, his face just looks kind of smooth. Is that the right word for it? I don't know, there's something about it that looks just off-putting. He looks more like Nicolas Cage than he does Tom Hiddleston. But it is what it is. Comes with the little cosmic cube, or the Tesseract. I'm talking in comic speak and not MCU speak. And of course, you've got the dude from Thanos' army's blade. Oops. And you've got him. Corvus Glaive, I think. I wonder how many people are just cringing at how I unbox these. I definitely like this guy better than I like Loki. I don't have many villains, so this guy's gonna look really cool at the front of like a whole villain mob. Okay, so the cape on Loki doesn't go on easy. It's very much something that's not gonna stay on if you want it to. Oh, there's little pegs that I didn't notice. Well, that might make it stay on easier. Alright, so it's a little bit tricky to get the cape on, but once you get it inside of those studs, it's just fine. Alright, so there we have it, but we have one last thing to do before we wrap things up. Let me get the rest of my parts out of here. So in the 6 months between filming the first half of the video and the last half of the video, I finally sorted all the extra parts into this thing. So I've got an extra cap shield, so I'll just throw that inside of here. We got one Fat Thor part, we got 2 Fat Thor parts, 3 Fat Thor parts, an Infinity Gauntlet part. So yeah, I keep all the little odds and ends up here. I'm gonna put these over here. I'll get those in a second. Then I keep, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. But then I keep more parts like heads and hands down here. Like I said, odds and ends. Then I keep bigger parts, like Build-A-Figure parts, down here. So eventually I'll end up sorting all of these parts into here. But for now, I need to get all of these Fat Thor parts out of here. Okay, so we've got the torso here. Then we've got 2 heads, we got the dude head, we got the normal head. And where are his legs? Oh, I just put one of the legs back in there. I just realized that. Alright, now let's get you some legs. I know I just put one of those bad boys up. Alright, and there we go. Now we're just gonna give him Stormbreaker. And there we have it. It's my boy Fat Thor. Okay, so it turns out I actually got a few more figures. We're gonna unbox some used figures. Now, I got lucky because I saw that Jake Vaughn was actually selling his action figure collection, or some of them, who does some great Spider-Man cosplays. I'll link his Twitter on screen and in the description. So, let's see what he sent me. Finally broke my way through this packaging. Ah, and check it out. He's sorted them all individually for me. Ah, check it out! First one here is going to be Winter Soldier. Got his gun in there too. Got both head sculpts. Now this is Winter Soldier from the movie Winter Soldier. It's funny, one of my first Marvel Legends was actually the Captain America from this line. And I thought about getting the Bucky for a while, but I never did, so it's nice to finally have him in my hands. I don't actually have many of the older figures from that line. Keep him right there for now. Next up, we're gonna unbox, or open up Captain Marvel. Now, I got the Captain Marvel with the cat and her jacket. Oh, got two little hands in there too. But I wanted this one really just to have an extra one to have flying. I wanted to have a group of superheroes flying below the glass shelf that I put them on, so yeah. So she'll look pretty appropriate there. I'll try and throw a video or a picture of that up somewhere, probably, maybe even at the end of the video, we'll see. As we can see, she's got two different heads. Personally, I prefer the Brie Larson one. I'm not a fan of the Mohawk helmet, honestly. Next up is Scarlet Witch. I'm really excited to open this one because I have been loving WandaVision. It seriously made Scarlet Witch and Vision two of my favorite Marvel characters. And I've actually gone back and I bought a couple of the comics and I've been reading through them and like, holy shit, I have been sleeping on these characters. So, I remember Jake mentioned something about the face sculpt not being very accurate to Elizabeth Olsen, but honestly, it seems more than accurate enough for me. I don't really take issue with it. I think it's a good little figure. It's gonna look good next to my Vision for sure. And I love how they have the hand gestures right and all too. I don't know how I feel about these little magic fire things. They seem kind of like cliche, but I mean, whatever. I've seen worse effects coming with Marvel figures. Next up is the big guy. That sounded so dumb. Oh wow, he is big too, my god. Check this behemoth out. Like next to like Winter Soldier, how much larger he is. Jesus. I think he might be bigger than the Thing figure I unboxed. Let me look and see. I'm gonna grab it. Yeah, he is. Holy shit. I'm actually more than impressed with this Hulk figure. This is actually the first Hulk figure I've gotten, so yeah. Fuck yeah. He's too big to keep down there. I gotta put him up here. Got one more to look at here. That is the Iron Spider. Now, this is actually the first issue Iron Spider. They made a second one that came bundled with Iron Man, and I really think I should have gotten that, but I can't find it for any cheaper than 70 bucks now. Now, that one actually came with the spider arms and everything, but unfortunately this one doesn't. Now, I might actually get a bootleg figure in order to get the spider arms off of it, just to like kind of attach to this in the background, but I don't know. I want to make a setup with just the movie Spider-Man, and I think it'd be hard to fit Iron Spider into that if I added the arms onto it. Another note about this version is that it apparently has inaccurate web shooters, but I don't really care about that, to be honest. Truthfully, I think it's got a good sculpt, and I like the golden on it, and I think it blends well. Like, I think this is a good little figure. It's certainly better than I expected it to be. Articulation's pretty good. And I know I didn't really comment on the other ones, but the articulation was pretty good on those too. I think it's a solid little figure. Outside of the fact that, you know, doesn't have the arms, but I can live without that for now. So yeah, those are my new used Spider-Man figures. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about today before I get off of here are these little stands. So you can find a pack of 10 of these for like 20 bucks on eBay, or maybe even cheaper, or just depending. Now, these are pretty easy to put together. Some of them you have to screw these arms into place yourself, some of them you don't. But basically, you just take out all your parts, set that up right, put the arm in the base, and I cracked that. That inspires confidence. And I cracked it, so that inspires confidence. Break these two little hinges off of this guide here. Put that in there. Put your hero in a nice little pose. So I'm gonna have Wanda like flying. Now, it should be worth noting, it's a little bit harder to do this with the characters that have like trench coats, but it's not impossible. You just have to balance them right and get the weight of the figure right. Yeah, see, because if you do it wrong, the figure just topples over. Now, the thing is with these is you're gonna have to sit here and play with them for a while to get them to stay, but once you get them to stay and you get them all next to each other on a shelf, it's just a very, very satisfying feeling. So, let's see. There we go. Now, if you can use these little pegs and holes to help them stay in place, that can be really helpful. But there we go. There's our Wanda. Now, I've got a bunch of figures on these stands right now, including this one, and they also make cheaper stands like this and these that you can find more for cheaper. Like, I think you can get like 30 of these for $10, you can get like 10 of these for $20, and then I think you get like 30 of these for like $15. I can't remember. I bought all of these just to try and see which figures go on best, and the problem is not every figure will stand on these holes because some of them have too small pegs. And the problem is that these pegs are too small for some of the, well, vice versa. You know, you get what I'm saying. But when you buy one of these that have the arms, it makes it a lot easier to make poses that are more articulate. But anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. You get what I'm saying. So, like I said though, there's no real shame in buying bootleg figures or used figures. You don't have to buy anything new. You don't have to buy everything new. And buying used stuff will actually help you out a lot in the long run in terms of the cost effectiveness of collecting. Or maybe even look up the city you live in if you live in a smaller area. But you'll find a bunch of people locally that likely have some of these figures. Maybe they want to get rid of some of their collection, or maybe they want to collect more, and maybe they want to get rid of their collection, maybe they want to trade with you. Regardless, there are cheaper ways to buy these figures than getting them all new. And I know that sounds hypocritical considering I just did a whole video about it, but I tried to write that off as saying, oh, it's for the channel. Even though, you know, honestly, I just wanted toys to put on my shelves. But anyway, I guess this is the part where we'll transition to the outro, where I show the shelves that I've put together like a month from now. It's been kind of funny. By the time this video goes up, I'm going to have been filming it for more than a year. If you somehow made it through all the way to the end, thank you. It really helps out a lot, and I appreciate it. This video was a bit of an experiment, and if people are receptive to it, then I'll upload more unboxing content on my second channel, Super Swim Team 72, but I can't see myself doing more unboxings here. I think the main channel is going to be mostly video essay-based content moving forward. But if you want to check out a few more unboxing videos, then there should be a couple on my second channel here, and as always, I'd like to thank the lovely supporters on Patreon. You really keep the swim ship sailing. And lastly, I'd like to thank you. The week after next, I'll be uploading my TikTok cosplay cringe video, so that'll be fun. So don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure that pops up in your recommended next week. But until then, I've been Swim Team Prime from Super Swim Team 7, signing off.